Two marker. What's going on, Alamo City Movie Talk fans? As always, I'm your host, Ryan D, aka Ryan680.
And this is Lex, back at it again, guys.
Let's go. Let's talk movies, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get right to it. Lex, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about Twisters. Movie of the summer, rolling in into our lives, and it's Twisters with Glenn Powell.
Daisy, as long as Anthony Ramos in here, a retired tornado chaser and meteorologist is pursued to return to Oklahoma to work with a new team, and new technologies awaits here. So, I didn't have too much high hopes after watching this movie and everything. So I didn't have too much crazy high hopes before entering the theater. I really didn't. I wasn't gonna be like, oh, this is gonna be the best movie of the year. Not that case whatsoever. But I gotta admit though, this movie is definitely, I've seen a few YouTubers already talk about this movie, and the fact is that this movie it's really a popcorn movie. It's really an entertainment film. The average moviegoer, in my point of opinion, is going to really enjoy this movie. I feel like that the way the world is right now, and again, I like to talk about with current events and everything. We're not a political channel or anything like that, but I think because of the way the state that we're in right now with current events and everything, I feel like that moviegoers are really going to enjoy movies like this one right here. I feel like movies like are just, I didn't expect to make so much money, like the Meg 2. Like movies like that are such popcorn flicks, but yet people enjoyed them, and that's great, and I love that. So I came out very content coming out of the movie theater. I wasn't like extremely like, this has got to be the better than the original and everything. And some people are saying that. Watch yourselves. I'm just kidding. Watch it, but some people are saying that. I don't know if that's true or not. I mean, I gotta admit though, Glenn Powell did a fantastic job in here, along with the three leads that we got in this movie. But Lex, what did you think of this film, man?
Yeah, no, I ended up actually really liking it. Like you said, didn't have a ton of expectations. Not like against the movie itself. I actually thought the cast was very strong from the get-go.
Yeah.
Glenn Powell is clearly getting a lot of work, and he's so charming. He's kicking butt right now. But Daisy Edgar-Jones, like, I don't want to move the spotlight away from her, because she is the heart and soul of the movie. She's very much the protagonist. I think she pairs well with Glenn Powell. They have chemistry, and just like you said, there's Anthony Ramos in here. I don't think I can point out anyone that didn't bring their A game. Obviously, some characters play different versions of different characters, and they're serving different purposes. But for what it is, like, everyone absolutely brought their A game, and it was well directed. There was some incredible visuals. I was really impressed, and initially I couldn't pinpoint where I knew this director from, but then looking up Lee Isaac Chung, he directed Minari, which I actually really enjoyed as well. I didn't watch it in theaters. I watched it
at home. Same airplane.
I think
I watched it at home.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't watch it in theaters. Such a shame.
But he's definitely a director that has an eye for the visuals, and like I said, just even from a storytelling standpoint, I think this movie, and a lot of other movies that deal with like natural catastrophes and such, like, sometimes it's meant to be, like you said, those popcorn going like the popcorn flicks, like just having enjoyment and action, and it did that. But I think at the center of here, we got a really good story that kind of walked through some themes of trauma, overcoming fears, and really trying to understand how to combat something like this, something that's like a force.
I agree.
Nature, right?
I agree here. And again, we got a lot of moments in here where it gets you sucked in, so to speak, into this movie and everything. And there's a lot of like key moments that I really did love. And it's kind of, I just love, I mean, I'm a sucker for them. I don't know if you are, but I'm a sucker for natural disaster movies. Volcano, The Core, 2012 with random conspiracy theorist Woody Harrelson. Oh yeah. Okay, yes.
It was gonna happen.
Yeah. So like movies like that and Volcano that came out back in the day. It's just, the movies like that are just The Day After Tomorrow. Like I'm just going through them in my head right now. Like movies like that are just such powerful films that I do love. Again, that's just my point of opinion. I feel like that there's such like, what would you do in a situation like that? And I would even consider Independence Day as well into that realm because of catastrophe that happens and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, yeah. It's kind
So
of, it
yeah,
places a it
yeah,
typically puts a very human, relatable character up against something that's really uncontrollable,
exactly.
untamable, right?
Yeah,
So yeah, no, in I think there's humor in here, there's heart, there's like a message. I think for me the biggest weak point for this movie that like prevents me from saying like it was absolutely great or that I loved it. Once again, I liked it. I really liked it actually.
mhm,
Was the pacing, I feel.
yeah,
I think the movie had a strong opening and then it followed by a sequence that worried me a little bit because I feel like they were presenting us with without spoilers, just like a series of events and catastrophes a
mhm,
little bit too quick, a little bit too fast, that like I was starting to worry like this was just gonna be a showcase of like
okay,
different things, right? Or like, when there's in other movies, like for example the original one, when there's a very scarce amount of these storms that they have to deal with, they're building up to something. There's something special.
yeah.
But when they show you so many, you start thinking like, oh well, I guess
It's
this
just
is just
another
common.
storm.
There's nothing
Yeah,
special. Yeah.
yeah,
But
I get
I
it.
do like that each of those events was furthering the story for this character. So it kind of
Yeah,
saved itself, but that was a weird gap for me where the pacing was a bit off and a little,
yeah.
it felt like the movie extended itself because of it.
Yeah, no, I completely I agree with you as well. There's definitely moments in here where kind of like I feel like that moviegoers that are really gonna question this film and be like, well, what more are they gonna do? Like, what's the point of having a sequel if all they're gonna do is chasing more storms and even more so? But I feel like that the way the world is right now, and people just wanna they want to go to the theater and have that theater experience. And I feel like this movie is definitely a movie like
Yeah.
that. I do want to give kudos to the special effects team, to the CGI
The
team.
sound team.
Is
Yeah.
the sound. I want to.
It
I wish
puts
there was.
you,
So Regal has 4DX, and I wish
yeah,
there was 4DX here in
with
San.
the rain and
Yeah,
everything.
bro. I wish. Okay, so I wish there was 4DX here in San Antonio. There's not. There's only one in Austin. That's the closest one. I'm not gonna go there, but I am seeing it again tomorrow at RPX,
Nice.
and I cannot wait to hear the sound. I want to hear the thunder, the rumble. I just I already could tell you right now that moviegoers are checking it out tonight, right now, going to those big screens, going to the big surround sounds, going maybe even to IMAX to go
Yeah.
see the movie like this, because this movie deserves to be seen in IMAX and everything. And because of the fact that they work so good, because the sound is spectacular, the thunder roars are really
Yeah.
phenomenal and really great. And I have a problem with that or the CGI. In my point of opinion, I just feel like it was too much going on. But again, it's called Twisters. Again, it's kind of like maybe that was the point.
Yeah,
When I think
they
about
weren't
it
lying
more,
about the fact that it was plural. Like there's
yeah,
multiple.
exactly. And so like when we did a theater reaction, I had to retrace my steps a little bit because I was like, wait, well then it's called Twisters for a reason, right?
Yeah.
It's maybe whatever they had in the original twist, because I didn't count the original Twister movie, how many tornadoes they had, but maybe it was that times two. That's why it's called Twisters. But anyways, needless to say and everything, I still enjoyed that.
I
The
think it's
one
gonna
thing
do well. Yeah.
Yeah, the one thing that I gotta say though is that it's a different marketing term, because if you ever seen the trailer for Twister, it's different marketing. It's more dark. It's more like this dark tornado is gonna get you. It's gonna get and all this stuff. Versus how the trailers are now and how the storm looks now. It's more clear. It's more like, obviously the technology is better, right? But even the trailers are like, all right, let's go get them. Like, it's like, it's definitely a different vibe in a way. It's a different mood. It's a different tone. And I love that though, because it shows, how far you gone. And also I'm going to answer the question, because I did answer it already on the out of theater reaction, but there is no connection. Really, besides there's really not a connection
Yeah. No.
to the original Twister. Yeah.
And Glenn Powell was giving interviews saying like, "Hey, we're not trying to redo the first one. It's not a reboot." And then
Yeah.
they said it's not. It's not a direct sequel, like in the way that we're trying to connect. They obviously use the branding, the name, and the
Yeah.
franchise, which I usually think it's a cheap thing to do. However, for this one,
Yeah.
I feel like they did good in being able to tell their own version of the story while still being
Yeah.
about Twister. So I wasn't
They
too mad about that. I actually
yeah.
like that it didn't rely on
On
nostalgia.
this,
Rather,
yeah.
they introduced us to characters that you get to enjoy, and then maybe even by the end, like fall in love with, in terms of like, hey, maybe if they do another one, I might tune in. Me personally, if they do another one, I would tune in. Like there's was just a ton of
Yeah.
charisma and characters that I would like to see where they go next.
Yeah, I forgot the saying Glenn Powell said in the movie was like, if you can ride it, or if something like, I forgot what he
If
said.
you can feel it, you
You
should
can,
chase it.
you should chase it. Man, that's good. I
Yeah.
like that. So at the same time, though, I kind of wish they kind of was like nostalgia a little bit. I
Oh
guess
yeah.
there was a little bit the device, but that's really about it. I mean, but I wish they still had that connection, or maybe even mention the storm chasers before them. Like, these are the
Yeah, yeah,
people I
yeah.
want to
I
be,
see.
or something like that. Like, it just, I mean, the casting of the original Twister movie was just spot on, and it was, I mean, it just, Dustin Hoffman was in there too. It just, I mean, a lot of great actors were in there. So, but anyways, and everything. So one of the things I do want to say is, was this the film that we deserved? I'm gonna say hell yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Definitely. Another thing I forgot to mention. Sorry, another thing I forgot to mention was, I did want to mention before ending this review, was that, isn't it funny how and we see it in the trailer a lot, we see it in pictures, we see it in the trailers, we see it, all that stuff, was that there's a tornado that kind of happens in a movie theater, which I thought that was kind of like, okay, all right, I see what they're doing here, being a little creative there, because it's something that we've never seen before. It's
It's
something
a
that's never
metaphor
been
for us
done.
being,
Yeah.
for us being in the theater experiencing this as
Right.
lightly as it can, right? Not 4D though.
Yeah, I know, right? Oh man, that would have been sweet. But needless to say, though, I'm excited to see what other moviegoers and other movie fans are really going to enjoy this film, because I feel like that this movie is going to take it away and get us sucked into this world, and to really show us what's happening and everything, and to really show us like the different tornadoes, the different tactics that they're taking, because it is a little bit different. The technology has definitely changed a lot, and even more so. Sometimes you can rely on technology, and sometimes you can't. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, no, I was definitely it's definitely a movie to where, like, I get it. And then also, Lex, you found, if I'm not mistaken, after the movie, Lex showed me a soundtrack, right? The
Oh yeah,
soundtrack for
check it
Twisters. I
out,
was
bro.
like,
I
check it
I
out,
was
guys.
I was
Soundtrack.
yeah,
Did you listen to it?
it's on Apple Music. Oh yeah, yeah. The next day
Is it
when I went
good?
to the gym, yeah, it's pretty good. Well, I mean, just from the movies that they played on the theater, I knew it was gonna be good. I was like, I like these songs. Some of them I recognized, some of them I didn't. So going back to the album, yeah, I recommend it. It's on Apple Music. I'm sure Spotify has a version for it too, but
No, there you go. Apple Music. There you go. All right, rating 1 out of 10. 10 be the highest. Lex, what are you gonna give this rating?
I think for me this was a solid 7.5. I think it was
Okay.
pretty solid. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna do a 6.8, almost a 7. I'm gonna do a 6.8. Again, we go back to where this is definitely a popcorn film. It's definitely a flick. It's a great flick. It's a good flick to go check out. It's a popcorn junket movie in a way, and it's definitely a movie to where, like, I feel like entertainment wise, it's gonna do good. Moviegoers, average film goers are gonna get excited for this, and then it's gonna do great. And then Deadpool and Wolverine come out next week. So all I'm saying is that it's already been, tickets have been selling out for that screening as well. So definitely check this movie out, guys. Because I gotta say, summer's been kind of like mellow a little bit, so I'm excited from people to get their butts into the seats in the movie theaters, man. Because this is definitely gonna get people entertained. Because people that I knew are not really moviegoers, they're like, oh, dude, this looks cool. This looks cool. I watched the original, and come to find out, the original '96 version of the original Twister movie is actually streaming number 2 on Max right now. So it moved up because people are all rewatching it. Again, I don't know if that's because people are like, I want to get back into this world, or 2, it's because they're looking for that
Dude,
connection.
I'm telling you, those actors, they got a lot of charisma together, and Glenn Powell, once again, he's
Yeah.
delivering. So I think it's part of that too. Like, those are some of the actors that are drawing, like putting butts in seats, as they say. However, you don't want to, you don't want to, mess with the trust that those people have in your performances. But so far, I feel like Glenn Powell's doing a really good job, and Daisy Edgar-Jones, she's really talented as well. She's done a lot of stuff that I'm a fan of. So yeah, I think it was a good combination. Well directed.
Yeah, most definitely, and yeah, Daisy Edgar-Jones, she was fantastic, and one of the movies I can only always think of her, and will always be in my mind, where the Crawdad sings, and that's just a fantastic movie that she was in. What do you call it, that came out in 2022, and she was just great in that movie, and she really, because the movie really focuses on her character by herself, and she carried out the movie for me. And again, we go back to where, like, is the movie all action flicked? No, but she has that drama charisma that she just does it on camera. And again, we go back to where, like, it worked in that realm, it worked in Where the Crawdad Sings, it worked here. Again, nothing on the actors. I gotta admit, man, the actors is what did it for me. The dragging, the pacing, I think that was more the story, because it kind of is not like the story kind of falls apart a little bit, and then it kind of goes back on track again. So it's kind of like, I could have easily taken out 30 minutes of this movie, but at the same time, though, I still want to see Glenn Powell, Daisy, and Anthony Ramos. I'll see it at that. But yeah, I still want to see all of them. I still want to see all those three leads, and they really did. They had that chemistry together. They had that that just the act. I mean, I just feel like that when the camera was rolling, like, it's it, man. Like, it just, I feel like that they were acting like, either they were acting like themselves for one, or two, there was just the script was like not bad, into where, like, they really had great chemistry once again, and all and great tone with each other. And I love that. I really did. But especially Glenn Powell, who's not really excited to see Glenn Powell in another cowboy hat. That's all I'm saying. If you haven't seen The Hitman, it's on Netflix, guys. Glenn Powell plays like 5 different characters. I think it's 5 or 7. I can't remember, but it's more than one character. Check that out. He's a hitman, and it's on Netflix. And I do recommend that movie, guys. Me and Angela got to see that film. That film is really good. That's Glenn Powell 100% all the way. But all right, guys, thank you so much for making this a part of your day. As always, I'm your host, Ryan D, aka Ryan680.
And this was Lex. Thank you, everyone.
Have a good one, guys. We'll see you at the movies. Stay tuned. Do not forget, guys, like, share, subscribe, and be on the lookout for Lex, because he'll be doing My Adventures of Superman review of season 2. And yeah, I'm excited for that. So be on the lookout for that, guys. And I'll also be on the lookout for our weekly reviews of House of the Dragon. All right. Have a good one, guys. Stay safe, San Antonio. See you at the movies. Latest.